guys, and welcome back to Richoux on Demand. Thanks so much for being here today. So today is Friday. It's the 17th of December, and I got in my crosshairs that I wanted to, I'm turning my diffuser on here, but I got into my crosshairs that I wanted to bring out the inner scientist in me. For those of you that don't know, which I'm sure, how could anybody not know by now, I have a love for science. Let me put y'all somewhere so I can, there we go. For those of you that don't know, I have a love for science in addition to many other things. So I was browsing through the YouTube world and I came across a video from Jess over at Roots and Refuge Farm, where she was showing us how to turn a simple kiddie pool into a very inexpensive raised garden bed. And I was like, you know, I could do that. Oops, trying to make sure I put this on. Y'all, me and this diffuser do not get along. Let's see here. Okay. But yeah, for anybody that's unaware, we have very limited space. And we use raised beds to garden. So I saw Jess's video on turning a kiddie pool into a raised garden bed, and I thought it was genius. So I was on the hunt for kiddie pools, and that is really hard to find, actually. In the dead of winter. And you wouldn't know it though, that it's the dead of winter with my attire, but welcome to southern Louisiana. It's like 70 degrees outside, y'all. Yeah, it's like 70 degrees outside. So I'm going to set up 2 kiddie pools, and I'm going to plant some root vegetables in my kiddie pools. This is my seed storage container. I'll link this because it's really a photo, like a photo container, like a photo organizer. Can't be breaking no jars, y'all. It's really a photo organizer, but they work perfectly for seeds. All right. So yeah, this is what it looks like. And it's the perfect size for Baker Creek seed packets. And I say Baker Creek not because they're the only seeds I have, but they are the biggest seed packets that I have. And I just have them labeled like roots. And then inside here I have my beets. I have turnips, even though I use turnips for greens as well. I labeled it on the roots. I have more golden beets and rutabagas and things like that. So yeah. Oh, and y'all keeps calling. Hello.
Didn't you say?
Okay.
Alright, love you, bye.
Love you too. Alright guys, so what I'll be planting out is in my kiddie pools. Even though it's still 70 degrees here in New Orleans, it's supposed to be getting down to the 60s range next week and beyond, hopefully, because I need to put onions in the ground too, but that's a video for another day. I'm going to be planting out some radishes, carrots, and some roots. And this is what I'm going to be planting out, I think. in my kiddie pools. I'm looking at all my things, and I think that's gonna be good. I'd love to get some brassicas out, but I don't think they're gonna fit in that kiddie pool, and it's honestly pretty late. But yeah, so this is what we're gonna be planting. I'm gonna do pretty much an entire kiddie pool of carrots, and then I'm gonna do radishes and rutabagas and all that kind of stuff. And the other one, because I have two, so. My dog, he's itching to get outside. Ooh, looks like it's about to rain, so we might have to hurry this video up here. So these are the kiddie pools. And I'm just going to drill some holes in the bottom and get them situated in our front yard. That's where we have the most sunlight. So that's pretty much where most of our crops go. Actually, I could set them up back here. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if we're going to set them up. Oh, sorry, y'all. I don't know if we're going to set them up here in the backyard. Because what happens is, let me show y'all. The problem with using the backyard, there's our girls and our guy. The problem is this tree here. And in the summertime, it's full of foliage, and it pretty much shades everything from the edge of this garden bed over. And then we have our blueberry bushes here. So while I could set them up back here for now, then we'd have to worry about dragging them somewhere else in the springtime. So that's essentially why my plan is to drill the holes and get these moved out in the front yard area, because our front yard gets the bulk of the sun, which is why that's where the biggest part of our garden is. Speaking of which, I haven't shown y'all the garden in a really long time, so it's not looking wonderful, but it's looking promising. So if you're looking at our garden space, we actually have some zucchini plants that were producing, but they're pretty much fading out. They're not getting adequate sun, and we're having to come out here and hand pollinate a ton, and it has some powdery mildew from not having enough sun to dry everything out. So these two are going to come out here relatively soon. This area here has been uncovered, as you can tell by the weed growth that I need to get out here and weed. I have some bean plants that are fizzling out that I'm going to pull out here pretty soon. In this area, I'm thinking I'm going to try to direct sow some cauliflower just to see if it'll do anything, just so the bed isn't bare. I have some little baby cabbages here. If you walk this way, I need to fill all this in with mulch so it's easier to control weeds along the edge here. So here we have all of our garlic planted in this area. I actually need to put a little bit more mulch in this area here, but we have garlic all the way to about there, which is why those plants need to come out. We have some carrots here that are going to come out pretty soon. I have a couple of actual little baby beets over there that are acting like they want to do something, but not really. Some more garlic. I have some Brussels sprout plants here. They still look really healthy. They're small still, but you can see in there the little bulbs growing. And also, like I said, it's still nice and toasty here most days. I have some Chinese cabbage here that I've been basically peeling off for the chickens. We don't really eat this. I grew this specifically for the girls. Some broccoli plants coming up here. This is a dill plant. Some dill. I love dill. It smells amazing. I need to actually cut some of it and take it inside to dry. But we have some really good dill plants. This is one purple cabbage. I have a tiny one there, but not much. And then some heads of cabbage there. And then these over here is our containers Here I have some more mature beets and some garlic sprinkled throughout, and it's having some weed pressure because I haven't mulched the top of this yet, but I will. This is full of weeds. All of these need to be pulled out. These were some butternut squash plants that we harvested the last of recently. So all of these need to be cleaned out, mulched over, pretty much put to bed for at least a little bit of time. And then this is a garlic that I did get mulched, and you can see that the weed pressure is almost non-existent in this one. So yeah, definitely need to weed. These are our dahlias that died back. I'm just gonna cut right here at the surface, put a little bit of mulch and let it go through the winter. We can definitely overwinter dahlias here. We have our beautiful satsuma tree that we need to come out here and finish pulling the rest of the satsumas off this tree, because we have some critters getting to them down at the bottom, so we definitely need to pull it. These satsumas are so sweet, you guys. And then this is our Meyer lemon tree. It's set fruit, but it's not really edible. We typically get a really good Meyer lemon harvest every other year. So this year we'll be you know, cutting back some limbs a little bit, just shaping it a little tiny bit, fertilizing and getting it through the winter. And our newest addition as far as trees would be this guy. This is our fig tree, and it doesn't look like much now, but this is totally normal for figs to lose all of their leaves when the days get shorter and the nights get colder. But what you want to look for is that new growth. That new growth right there, showing that your tree is healthy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with some worm castings and some mulch and a little bit of compost, and that'll be good for the rest of the winter. We're not even going to look at this area here because we got a butterfly bush that fell over and went berserk and everything. Under there we have some beautiful things happening, but the biggest issue is getting this butterfly bush trimmed back and under control. But it has some beautiful blooms, y'all. Look at that. Anyway, we gotta handle that. Anyway, so back to the topic at hand. So my thought process is to put those beds right here up front. It shouldn't get shaded by anything light wise. If I put one here and one here, right inside the servitude line. But yeah, I think this is going to be a nice spot for them to live. So yeah, let's get started. And don't get me wrong, guys, the whole point of doing these beds and everything is to not only make more gardening space for me on our little piece of property because we don't have much, but it's also to test out some of these things that are put out there. I fully expect this to be an amazing outcome, but sometimes I know when I was researching about gardening and things like that, and about how to make my small land work while waiting on the desires of my heart, which is more space, one of the main questions that I found myself having was, well, it worked for them because they're great gardeners or whatever, but I wonder if somebody who's in my situation has tried it. So yeah, we're gonna try it. Sir is over there making his presence known. He's like, I'm over here. So So let me see if I can find somewhere to prop y'all up. Or actually, it's gonna be really difficult back here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill holes all in the bottom of here for some drainage, and then we're gonna put them where they're gonna be. And then we'll set up the camera and we'll fill it with soil and stuff. So yeah, be back in a minute. All right, guys. So we got the dirt in here. It took 3 bags of 50-pound, 3 50-pound bags of backfill potting soil. This potting soil already has a slow release fertilizer in it, and it's pretty much ready to go. So all I'm doing is kind of flattening out the surface. And I'm just gonna press it down just a little bit. Now, I'm not gonna hold y'all too long. In this bed, I'm gonna be planting root vegetables. I'm gonna be planting, I have some beets and rutabaga, as well as some radishes are going to go in this bed, and then the next bed is going to be all carrots. Alright, so in this bed, like I said, we're going to do some beets. I have some Detroit dark red, as well as some golden beets that I'm going to put in here. I have some purple top globe turnips, yellow rutabagas, and purple top rutabagas, all going in this bed. And I'm just gonna follow the back of the seed packet. Okay guys, on every row starting here I have Detroit red beets. The next row is Detroit red beets, and I have 2 rows of golden beets, 1 row of purple top rutabagas, golden rutabagas, and then last 2 rows are turnips. And it's starting to rain again. In between these rows, I'm gonna sow some radishes, maybe because radishes will pop up way before these are ready. So yeah, in between these rows here, I'm just gonna sow some radishes, and then we're gonna cover it up and let the rain do its job. I promise. The rain just stopped. I did not cut it out. This bed has beets, rutabagas, turnips, and radishes. And this bed has all carrots. So I'm going to water them both. And I like to turn my water on in the grass. And then give everything a good drink. I fully anticipate that it's going to rain a good bit of the weekend, but I don't want to count on that because that could change. So I'm just going to give everything a good drink. Like I said, this potting soil already has a slow release fertilizer, so I'm not putting any worm castings or anything on top. I'm just going to drench everything. And another thing that I like to do after I drench everything is kind of stand over and see if I see anything, particularly radish seeds, because they were put in last. There's Sir making his presence known. Just push them down in there, those radish seeds. You won't see them all, but if you can catch 1 or 2, especially in this soil mix, might be hard to see, but I can see them. There's one right there. Push it and cover it up. Okay, we're gonna mist again, and like I said, it's supposed to rain a good majority of the rest. You just want to make sure you keep your seeds wet, and that's good. Now with the carrots, I'm gonna mist them even higher. My rooster is just showing out. So with the carrots, I'm gonna mist them even higher, and then I'm gonna take some cardboard and lay it over the top. Wood would be better, but I have cardboard and that's what I'm gonna use. And I'm just gonna weigh it down with a brick or two on the edges, just so that my seeds will germinate, because carrot seeds take a really long time to germinate. And the biggest issue with carrot seeds is them drying out, because they are so small and you plant them so close to the surface. So I'm gonna mist this down, and wood would keep the sun from drying it out, but I'm gonna put cardboard on top and I'm gonna wet the cardboard, and that's how I'm gonna water them. Alright guys, so I have that planted. My last carrots, I really didn't have an issue with that, so I may take that cardboard off just because I don't like how it's sitting with that dip in the middle. But other than that, I'm just gonna leave that to germinate. So yeah, definitely try that cardboard trick or the wood trick if you have a super dry climate. It's actually really humid and muggy here and rainy this time of year, so I don't foresee there being an issue. Like I said, my other carrots germinated no problem. My other carrots germinated no problem, and I didn't do that. So just because I am foreseeing that may be an issue. But other than that, that's pretty much it, y'all. I'm gonna go inside and clean up and relax and enjoy the rest of my Friday. Anyway guys, thanks so much for hanging out. If you like videos like this, consider clicking the link down below to subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.